According to Google, on average, people spend 13.9 years in school or in the education system. Personally, I've spent 18 to 20 years in school because I have had abnormally long periods. So for example, my postgraduate was 2 years as opposed to 1. And then my undergraduate degree was 4 years. And I know some people have 3 years. And I know some people have longer than that as well. So my point is that we have spent a lot of time in school. And here are some things that I still did not learn in school that have taken me by surprise entering the real world or entering the corporate environment. Personally, I think it does not make sense that I have spent this amount of time and that my parents have spent this amount of money on education, and I still have a lot of things that I did not learn from the education system. But I understand that this is how it is and this is how it has always been. Hopefully this is not how it will always be, but here are some of the things that I have learned personally and that I want to share with you today. So the first thing is that people are badly behaved. I'm sorry, and I know that this may come as a shock or maybe not where you were expecting this video to go, but people are very badly behaved. A lot of people, especially when there is no like control. I know that there's something such as like HR in the work environment, but in school it's typically clear, like, okay, this is what your punishment is going to be. These are the rules and regulations. You cannot do this, you cannot do that. And a lot of us were in our formative years, I'll say, at least for like your secondary school or your high school period, you're in your formative years. So those rules tend to work. And also for like university times, like, you know, it's more like rustication. They can rusticate you from the university. There were rules, that's what I'll say. And you were younger then. But now in the office environment, yes, there's HR, but there's just like other nuances and other things, like ways people can escape with like being badly behaved. That is something I was not ready for. And so a better way, I'll say, to put this point is dealing with people and dealing with like multiple types of people, multiple personalities, and, you know, being able to work with different people regardless of how they behave or your personal viewpoint on their character traits or their characters. That is something I've had to learn, and it's something that is a good skill. You need to learn to work with people regardless of like their belief system, the things that they say. Personally, guys, oh God, it's just that there are some things we cannot say on the internet, but I've truly met people that I've wondered, how have you survived this long? How have you been alive this long if this is the mentality that you're working around with? But yeah, that's something that I was really shocked about. And I think that if you learn how to work with different people, you're going to be fine. But that's just something to watch out for. The second thing I'll say is that corporate has taught me adaptability, whether it's like with tight deadlines. I know schools typically have tight deadlines, but the stakes are much higher with like your corporate work, because in school, maybe if you don't submit, if you have a deadline and you don't submit, the most thing that can happen is that you will fail your course or you have a receipt or you repeat your school. But in corporate, if you actually miss a deadline or if you do things that you're doing things that may cost your company money, you can get fired, and it may cost a lot of money, and you're not being a good team player because your team may also be relying on your output. So adaptability, you need to be adaptable. You need, if there's a deadline, you need to be adaptable to fit into it. You need to know how to work under pressure. You need to be quick-witted a lot more than you were before in school or in uni, because the stakes are a lot higher. The next thing I'll say that I learned is how to really handle fear and how to handle failure. A lot of the time, I've realized that a lot of people are scared. The same way you're feeling fear, the people around you also have things that they are scared about, things that they have anxiety over. And failure is something that is inevitable. If you're learning something, if you're growing, if you're doing what you need to do, you're definitely going to have failures here and there. But just learning to dust yourself up, and not just dust yourself up and carry on, but like dusting yourself up quickly and like providing solutions and finding the next thing, doing things scared, doing things afraid. These are the two things I'll say. Definitely doing things afraid is a big part of just working in corporate and just being an adult in general. You'll be scared, your voice will be trembling, shaking, but do it. Submit that pitch deck, submit those things, like speak up at work. You're afraid, but still speak up. Your voice is valid. Is with practice that you eventually like get stronger at these things. But this is something that really took me by surprise, the amount of like fear, failure that we have to deal with as corporate workers or corporate employees. I had to unlearn the fear of making mistakes and wanting things to be perfect. Corporate has taught me to take responsibility, find solutions to problems, adapt quickly. And these are things that I genuinely wasn't prepared to learn, but I'm really glad that I learned them. And I think that you are also going to you're going to enjoy having these skills under your belt. The next thing corporate has taught me is personal branding. This is so key. This is so important. In school, nobody really talks about how important it is to shape the identity that you want people to perceive you as. Of course, there are some people that were like faster than the curve, ahead of the curve, and like they were already like branding themselves in a certain way or intentionally crafting themselves, but it was not all of us. And I know personally it wasn't even the same for me. I was really just living my life, moving around with my friends and being happy, and I don't regret it, to be honest. But I think that corporate has really taught me the importance of like personal branding, curating your persona. I'll say, not to say that you're pretending or you're moving around. No, you just need to create the person that you want to be at work. Do you want to be somebody that they see as reliable? Do you want to be somebody that they see that shows up? Do you want to be somebody that they see that actually you can handle stuff? Do you know what I mean? So that's really important. And yeah, corporate taught me personal branding, and I think that everybody should have a personal brand. This is my personal opinion. I think everybody should have a personal brand because it will take you further than not having a personal brand. There's also something to be said about like brand identity, like personal identity. You need to create like your own personal identity. There's something called identity capital. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. You need to create like identity capital, something that people can see and be like, okay, yes, this is this person. I know this is how they are. You know, you get what I mean? Just personal branding is important. Research on it, work on it. It's something I've had to learn in corporate, and it's something that has helped me come a long way, even in my personal life, in my businesses. And yeah, the fifth thing I'll say that corporate taught me is independence. Full transparency here, when I was in uni, I didn't care for like independence, not even like independence. I'll say I'm specifically talking about like financial independence. So for example, obviously because like you have family that is supporting you, you don't really care for things. So you think about things like, oh, I want to buy this thing, regardless of how much money you had in the bank, whatever it is, if that was your last money, as long as, personally myself, as long as I wanted something, I was going to buy it and I was going to do it for myself. Very much now, I think I am more mindful because you need to be careful. Like, yes, you're independent, but you need to be careful. Now I crave things like, oh, financial independence, like peace of mind, because when you have money, you're going to have peace of mind. So I'm a lot more independent now, but responsibly, I'll say, because mistakes you make now, the stakes are higher. When you were younger, when you were in school, when I was in uni, a lot of the mistakes I was making then, like the stakes were not really that high, to be honest. Like, okay, you spent all your money, what? You just be hungry till the next pocket money sending day. But now, if you don't have money till the next payday, like, it's just, I know it's a luxury to say that you need to have money till the next payday, because I know some people are like struggling to make ends meet, and I empathize. But I'm just saying it like for somebody that you truly know that it is your bad habits that are keeping you from like having a good savings habit. It's your bad habits that are keeping you from like, you know, having true financial independence. That's what I'll say. Like corporate will teach you independence, not just corporate in general. I'll say adulting in general, not just corporate. I had to really learn to like know what my priorities were, like prioritizing like, okay, my time, sleeping schedule. I had to start appreciating like routines as well. So I'll say that the independence that school gives is different from the independence that corporate or / the real world gives, if you get what I am saying. If you can relate to any of these tips that I have given, please comment down below in the comment section and let me know some of the things that you've learned in the corporate world that you didn't know before you got into the corporate world. Thank you so much for watching this video. This was just a light-hearted video that I wanted to share with you guys. Let me know your thoughts, and if you want to see more of these videos, then please click on this playlist here for other videos similar to this one that you enjoy on my channel. Please don't forget to like this video, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.